Hi everybody! It's great to be back again, and I'm so excited to talk with everybody today about how I became an intuitive coach and what that means and how I am able to help my clients. I've had a lot of questions about this, so it's a topic I'm really excited to dive into. The first thing I want to do to begin is just to take a collective deep breath together. Deep breath in and exhale. And let's do one more just like that. The breath just helps us connect back in with our bodies, ground us where we are in the moment, and reminds us that we are here in the body, in this present right now. We don't need to be in the future. We don't need to be in the past. Where we are is exactly perfect and where we need to be right now. And I am so excited and thrilled that you've chosen to be with me in this moment right now. I feel honored and blessed. How did I end up an intuitive coach, and what even is an intuitive coach? An intuitive coach is something that is really being developed, and it's fairly new from what I've seen, and so I've kind of created my own definition of what this means. And for me, the journey began when I was really young. Hi Kim, my sister's on. Hi, great to see you. So my journey began probably as early as I can remember. I used to know things that other people, like I shouldn't have known them. And I used to feel things that I knew were not the way everybody else responded to life. And I became completely infatuated with the idea of ESP and psychics, and I read every book I could get my hands on, and I wanted to know so much about it. And it was because I was feeling like I had a connection with it. Back then, it was during a time when the psychic network, that psychic hotline network was on, and everybody was talking about how crazy it was, and they would laugh about it, saying it was all fake, and I just remember thinking, oh, well, I mean, am I going to be made fun of that way if I decide to like kind of move into this thing that I'm feeling as a part of me? And hi Bean, great to see you on. And so I kind of just took a step back from it and went, maybe I'm not supposed to do anything with this. I should probably leave it alone. I really don't. I don't know that I'm strong enough and ready enough to step into that and have people tell me that I'm being fake, or that everything is made up in my head, or whatever else they might actually say about it. And over the years, like especially through my teenage years, I used to be able to not predict the future, but I would know what was going to happen in the future. Now, whether I was manifesting it or whether I was receiving the messages about how it was going to be, I don't know that it really matters. It freaked the crap out of me. And I was like, I don't even know what to do with this. Like, I can't talk about it because everybody's going to say I'm crazy, so I'm just going to leave that right there. I'm going to ignore that, and I'm going to pretend that's not a part of my life because that's just crazy. And so I left it, and about 10 to 15 years went by, and I found myself in a severe, severe, severe depression. Just really miserable in my life. Nothing was working, and there was a call, there was this pull that I kept feeling like I was meant for something more, like I was meant to be doing something more with my life than what I was currently doing. And I just couldn't wrap my head around it. And eventually I got to a point where I began growing in my spirituality, and a part of that was surrounding myself with people who did have some intuitive abilities. I began seeing an intuitive healer, and it's been through the course of doing work with her that I found myself saying, like, I could totally do this. I could totally do what she's doing. Like, I get it. And that was all solidified when I went to take an energy training weekend, with an animal energy training weekend. It's called Healing Touch for Animals, and it was the first session. And the most amazing thing happened when I was there. Again, totally freaked me out, but it really solidified that the fact that I had some abilities. And there was a horse that had a, I'm so bad at the names of the body parts on these horses, but right above his hoof, there was a little bit that was recovering. He was healing, but there was still some soreness in there. And so the instructor wanted us all to walk over to the horse and place our hands right there at the hock. I think that's the hock. I hope. And for everybody to put their hands there so that they could feel the heat that was generated by the energy work that the instructor had just done. Hi, Lena. I'm so glad you made it too, and I hope I just pronounced your name right. So everybody in the class began walking up, and they were putting their hand on the hock, and every time somebody walked up to the horse and placed their hand there, I felt my hand heat up. And I was like, oh, that's got to be a coincidence. Like, that's kind of random, but all right, whatever. And it kept happening, and it kept happening, and it kept happening. And by the time the last person got up there and placed their hand there, they kind of ran their hand down the horse's leg. And as it reached there, I was like, oh, it's not as hot anymore. And I thought that, and just in the next second, she goes, yeah, I don't really feel as much heat there. And it was one of those moments where I kind of took a step back, and I was like, oh my God. And the instructor came up to me afterwards, and I had explained to her, you know, I don't need to go feel the horse's hock because I felt it through everybody else's hands. And she walked up to me and she was like, I could see that you had this ability to be able to feel other people's energy. And she's like, and this is a gift for you to, you know, begin to play with, practice, and really begin to hone and refine. And she's like, and if you need any help with that, I'll be happy to. And I was very grateful, but I wasn't quite ready to step into that just yet. And that was about 2 years ago. So over time, I began learning a little bit more, like diving back into those psychic type books and those intuitive books, and listening to different teachers that would talk about them so that I could understand a little bit better what my abilities were. Apparently, as you go through we all have these abilities. So as you go through honing the different abilities, you eventually will be able to receive all of them. But at this point, my strongest are clairsentience, which is the ability to feel, physically feel what others are feeling, and clairaudience. I can hear messages. And it's the clairaudience, both of them serve me really well with all my clients. I've worked with over 50 clients now, and the sessions are great. I usually do them either FaceTime or I'll use Skype. I'm getting so excited, like I'm running out of breath here because I just want to tell you guys everything and I just get so excited. So let me just take a moment here. So as we work through each of these sessions, I've worked, as I mentioned, with over 50 people now. And what I do in these sessions is I can feel into my client's body energy. And I can feel if there's any blocks in that energy, or if there's something in particular that the client wants to bring to the table. I can kind of feel into what that issue is. And then that's done with my clairsentience. And then with my clairaudience, I can listen to the messages that are meant there, that are in there, that are meant for my client. And it's a really beautiful process, and it's one that is just makes me laugh, because each and every client always says, oh my gosh, yes, I knew that that is something that I really needed to be working on, but I just haven't been doing it. And that doesn't surprise me, because if the energy wants to let you know a message and it's telling me that message in order for you to receive it, it's because you're not listening to it. And so that's one of the great things that I do, is I can help facilitate these messages that your body wants you to know. So we engage in this nice, intimate, deep, heart-to-heart conversation where we talk about all of these issues, all of these blocks, anything else that might be causing you to limit yourself. And then I intuitively feel into what tools would be best to help you work through them. So then I would give my clients the tools that I have learned over the years to be able to help me work through the blocks that I've had. So it's a combination of just receiving the messages from your body and then intuitively providing the tools or working with you on tools. There have been moments when I've done some really, really beautiful healing meditations with some of my clients that has been a part of the tools that are needed to help you break through and raise your vibration. Because that's really what all of this is. Anytime that you can break through any limitations that you have, you're going to raise your vibration. And what's so important about that is that our earth is really in this super low vibration right now, right? And there's so much negativity that's happening in the world. So for every opportunity that each and every single individual, we can raise our vibration, that is ultimately raising the collective vibration of this world. So really, it's an honor for me to be able to work in this field and be able to coach people to help them raise their vibrations, because it feels like such a purpose to be able to help individuals and collectively the world to raise our vibrations up. At the end of the session, I'll just make sure that everything has been discussed and that we've touched on everything that you really needed to work with in that particular session, and I'll email you or text you with the information that we had discussed along with the tools, especially if there's any books that I've made recommendations or anything that you needed to look into online. And that's really been my journey. It's just been starting from when I was young and knowing that I had some of these abilities, but not really ready or willing to step into them because it just seemed so crazy, and I was really worried about maybe being locked up and really called crazy, to denying it, which denying anything within ourselves is so painful. And I went through that pain, and then I came out the other side and really stepped into these abilities, and now here I am, and I have the awesome opportunity to share them with you and to be able to use them to help you live the best life you possibly can. And I feel so honored for that. If anybody has any questions about the things that I have mentioned, feel free to go ahead and write the comments below, ask me your question in the comments. I'll be happy to answer any, even if it's after I've been live. I'll make sure I reach out to each and every one of you. If you are and have been on this live call, please just make a little comment like, hi, I'm here from, and let me know wherever you're from or how we know each other. And the reason I ask for that is because I feel like my information on my Facebook page is really reaching less and less and less people, and that's has to do with how Facebook runs their pages. So anything you can do to comment or, give me the little hearts or share this live feed to anybody that you think might be interested, all of that stuff is going to really help out, and that would be amazing. And in the meantime, if you are curious a little bit more about what it is that I do, or are interested in hearing about the upcoming events that I'm going to be creating, because I expect to create some silly algorithms of Facebook. It's true, Kim. I'm going to be creating some beautiful group work and perhaps some more meditations, and I've got a whole bunch of really big plans I'm really excited about. So if you want to be up to date on all of that, please go to melindaleeschmidt.com. That's just like this Facebook page, and there's a pop-up that will come up to sign up for my email list. Hi Jeannie, so great to see you. That's my cousin. And if you sign up to my email list, then you'll be in the know on anything that I'm going to be presenting. I expect to be doing giveaways at some point. I'm not quite there yet, but I expect that to come along. There is already a free guided meditation that's offered through signing up to my email list. So there's going to be a lot of gifts for doing that. So go ahead, get onto my website, melindaleeschmidt.com, check it out, and keep commenting here on these Facebook Live events. Keep sharing my information, keep getting it out to all of your friends, and thank you, Bean, for placing that on there. My website is below. One of my friends just hooked me up and put that on there for anybody that's out there wants to go ahead and click on that and sign up to my email list right now. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate you all for being here and for listening to my Facebook Live. I hope you all have an amazing, wonderful, blessed evening. Bye.